Okay, so we've got our 3 flowers, our large and 2 small flowers, and we're going to start joining them together with the stems. So this is obviously the completed motif, and we've got all the stems and all the leaves and the buds and all sorts in place here, so it's not quite so easy to see, but we're going to be working on the dark green parts. All right, sort of you can see from the back the stems. Now in your pattern you have got a very heavily annotated photo. Here's my scrawled on copy so you can see, and it is a really good idea to follow this either along with this video or along with your pattern, or both, just to keep you so you can kind of visualize where you are working at any one time, because there is a lot going on here and it is sort of tricky at times to work out where you are and what you're doing. When we start, we're going to be starting, it will be at this angle of the large flower. We'll be starting out here, this angle of the large flower, working all the way around and making all of the stems, coming down, working round the first small flower, then making the long stem, then coming down and working around the second flower. So it's a lot to do. It's all made in the way that you're used to with stems, which is making chains and then working back along them with double crochet. We've got a little bit of foundation work going on behind the flowers, which is not shown on the photograph. It's obviously mentioned in the pattern, but it's not shown on the photograph. If you look here on the completed one, you can see we're kind of traveling between stems in places, but obviously we will cover that as we go. We're going to take it really slowly. There are a lot of instructions to follow. We'll go through it together, we'll make a start, and hopefully once we're kind of in the swing of it, you will be confident to follow the photo, follow the pattern, and it won't be too arduous. Let's make a start. To start with, we're just going to be working with the large flower, so you don't need the two small ones just yet. So we start with the large flower, and I'm working the original colourway, so I am working with olive. That's the darker green in the centre of the leaves. And we're just going to start, if you look at your large flower, you will see that we skipped some stitches all the way back on round 3, which is the French blue in this case. So we've got some free stitches here, and that is where we are going to start. So I'm going to fold my petals forward, and I'm just going to put my hook, so my hook is basically laying over the top of those folded forward petals and then going into that skipped stitch. That just means that when I make my stitches, they will be sat behind the petals, which is what we want. So I've pulled up a loop and secured with a chain, and that's not counting as our stitch. I'm going to go back into the same place and make 1 double crochet. Okay, and off we go on our very first leaf stem, and we're going to make 9 chain, and that is annotated as number 1 on your photo, on your image there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and as you might expect, I'm going to turn that and work all the way back down that chain. So skipping the one that's closest to the hook and going into the next one, and just making 8 double crochet in total. Okay, and that is annotated as 2 on your photograph. Okay, that's 8, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the same stitch at the base of that stem that we've just made. Okay, so this looks familiar. We've done this before, haven't we? If we've worked other motifs, we've made these before, so that's absolutely fine. There's nothing too scary about it, it's just the positioning. So that's our first leaf stem made. We're not going to make any we're not going to travel anywhere, so we're going to go straight in with 10 chain now, which is annotated as 3 on your photograph. And work back down there We're going to put 1 double crochet into 8 chain. So yes, we're going to have 1 left over, and that is annotated as 4 on your photo. So as usual, skip the chain nearest to the hook and down you go, just for 8 though. Okay, this is number 8 and we have 1 chain left, but we're not going to work it. We're going to make another chain here, 1 chain, and then what we're going to do is put a double crochet into the next skipped stitch from round 3. Okay, so the same as before, I'm going to pull those leaves, those petals forward, put my hook through the skipped stitch, and I'm going to make 1 double crochet. All right, and we've made our second leaf stem. There it is. Okay, so we're now looking at annotation number 5 on your photograph, and we're going to make 7 chain. And we're going to come back down that 7 chain and make 6 double crochet. So skip the first one closest to the hook, and in we go and make 6 double crochet. And I have to remind you at this point that this is UK terminology. So for our folks who follow US terminology, obviously these are single crochets, so hopefully no confusion. That's number 5, that's number 6, and we will finish by putting a double crochet into that same stitch at the base. So it's okay, isn't it? It's not difficult to make the stems, it's just there's a lot of them, and it's the positioning that can get a little bit tricky, and particularly when we get to working around those small flowers. All right, so that is the flower bud stem that we've just made there. Okay, so 4 chain, we're going to travel behind the petals a bit now. So 4 chain, and we're going to put a double crochet into the next skipped stitch, so pulling the petals forward, which we're familiar with now, 1 double crochet in there. And looking at number 7 on our photograph, we're going to make 5 chain, and we're going to come back and make double crochets in 4 of those chains. So that's number 8 on your photograph, and as usual, skip the one nearest the hook. Hopefully by now you are familiar with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll finish this one, which is the 3rd leaf stem. We'll finish this with a double crochet into the same stitch at the base of the stem. Okay, so that's a shorter one. So we are on the 3rd leaf stem. I know we've got 4 stems going on, but one of them was a flower bud stem, but that's the little short one there. Okay, so we're going to travel again along. So 4 chain. Sorry for the sirens and all sorts going on. It's very hot and I have to have the window open. I apologise. Keeping it real. So 4 chain, I'm going to fold the petals forward again and put my next double crochet into my next skipped stitch from round 3. And we're looking at number 9 on our image now, and I'm going to make another 5 chain. 4 and 5, and work back 4 double crochet along that chain. So we've got another little short stubby one going in here. We'll have a look where that sits on the flower in a moment. 3 and 4. So that was number 10 on your image, and we're going to put a double crochet into the same stitch again. So that is another little short one. So let's have a look at the actual finished, the actual finished block. This is where we are, look. So those little 2 short ones are the 2 that are the short little leaves at the top there. So we've made, this is where we've got to so far. Okay, does that make that kind of makes that a little bit easier to sort of see where we're going, doesn't it, when we sit it on the top like that? So those two little short ones sit right at the top of the motif.